And welcome to another episode of The House of Fandom. I'm your host, Clark, on the check in, and I am joined by my amazing co host, starting with Mr. New York himself, Danny. What's up, brother?
What's going on, boys?
How's
How
it
you we doing
going?
today?
How you doing, brother? I hear you had an
Doing
anniversary recently.
little anniversary, had a little mini vacay, feel energized, refreshed. I'm excited to do this next show here. We got some good stuff coming up.
Awesome, awesome. And next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend. He's built for tough, even better. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Detroit, it is the Tank. What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing good, guys. How y'all doing today?
Just doing what we
Doing
do,
good,
man.
man.
Doing what we do, man. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I am super excited to welcome everyone to the House of Fandom. And without further ado, man, let's just get right to it. So the first things, let's do a little house cleaning. Or house cleaning. I just want to say a shout out to the music composed by Joel, and he has it's called Steel Frame. So Steel Frame, and it's Joel, and the composition is, I think it's called FU. So I'll just leave it at that. But I got to tell you, I like the beat, man. I don't know if you guys were listening to it while we were, getting ready, but I thought the original composition and the beats and just the way the violin plays out and just, with the beats, man, gives it a very, like, uh, Amadeus, like, I enjoyed it. You guys like
Friends with Joel for since probably since I moved to Florida, so about probably going on like 10 years now.
it? Nice.
He's been, he's always, he's sent me his beats before. His beats are always fire.
Nice. So he has a passion for it, obviously. I mean, it's clear from June Tree he really enjoys reading music. So definitely shout out to him. And stick around when we close out the show. And we have another original beat called Pure by uh, Steel Frame.
Joel.
Yeah, Joel Steel Frame. I was trying to get the Steel Frame in there first. So
Give him
anyway,
minutes proper. Clark, come on, man.
it's
Steel
all good.
frame.
It's all good. It's
Uh,
all good.
it's dope though. Joel, keep it up, buddy. We like it.
Yeah, shout out, man, definitely. And he sent me a bunch of stuff, so we'll hope to be playing those in the future. So let me also say in the chat room, the person who's returned back, Mora, thank you for returning back, and we appreciate that you are in the moderator room. And hopefully we'll get some folks that will be joining us shortly. But thank you, Mora, again for helping us out and keeping the chat live. So dude, without further ado, man, let's start off with fandom news. So it looks like I'm gonna hand it over to you, Danny. What's up?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a busy week in the fandom news section here. A lot of exciting stuff here. So the first thing that came up for today's topics here is that a return to form. We are now getting our limited series Dexter. Season 9 has been officially announced today with their official teaser that show, who has been an amazing show over the years, will be returning officially fall of this year, 2021. So get excited. I'm a big fan. Anybody who's looking to catch up on what Dexter is, it's on Netflix right now. Go check it out. You don't want to miss it.
I mean, well, real quick, Danny, I want to talk about Dexter because Dexter actually ended its run about what 4 or 5 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually I think 2014 if I'm not mistaken when I was reading the article
Yeah.
about this.
And to my knowledge, because I saw the ending was trash.
Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible,
Okay. I
absolutely
just
Most
horrible.
wanted to make sure that everybody remembered that the ending was trash.
But you know what, Clark? I'm glad you mentioned that though, because keep in mind, guys, this is not going to be the same Dexter that we left off on. This one is going to be produced by the original showrunner who started the Dexter series a long time ago. So the stuff that we're talking about right now, Clark and myself, those terrible episodes, throw them away. They are not going to be part of this new series. They're kind of going to write this off, and they're going to, from rumor has it, it's going to pick up after what happened in that final season. However, the new showrunner has promised us it is going to be back to basics, full on Dexter that we liked in the first place.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'm cautiously optimistic. I also have issues with when they reboot properties and bring them back, sometimes they end up being really good, and then sometimes they're just trash.
Couldn't agree
Trash.
with you more.
Anyway,
The good thing about Dexter, though, the bar was set so low, we can only go up from here, right?
yeah, that's true. Let me ask you, Tank, have you ever seen Dexter, or is that in your wheelhouse or no?
Yeah, I watched it when I came in late to it. Like I
Mhm.
think I probably came in like 3 or 4, or maybe like 2, 3 seasons in. Then I watched it all the way through. Like I said, the ending was trash, but there have been very few shows who have had like an actual good ending. It was nothing that I was like I wasn't like hoping waiting wishing for in more seasons, but I'm definitely interested. I'll definitely check it out.
Awesome. What else we got, Danny, for fandom news?
Well, perfect. Funny you mentioned that. So it is fandom news, but I also like to think of it as tank news as well too. He's gonna be excited. I already shared this with him today. So the hit show on Amazon, Invincible, the animated series that Tank actually recommended to myself and to the viewers a couple weeks ago, has officially been confirmed to be renewed for 2 more seasons on Amazon there. So not a lot of people actually going on and watching it as much as I'd like them to see it, but I'm glad that Amazon's giving it a chance because it's a great show. I definitely recommend what Tank has said. Get on this show. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of great things about this show as well, and I'm excited to watch it. At first, I was a little concerned about the animation, but I've been hearing so many great things about it. I mean, we heard it first here with Tank, so I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm glad that it was renewed, so that tells me that it's obviously being it's a hit with viewers. So I look forward to watching it some more. What else you got in that bag of fandom news, buddy?
All right, I'm digging deep now. You guys ready for this one?
All right, better be
So this
good.
one's it's good. I always deliver. So this one here, kind of spoiling what we're going to be talking about in a second with our first review today
Mm,
of Falcon and the Winter
mm,
Soldier.
mm,
It has been confirmed and announced by Kevin Feige
mm.
that we will officially be getting a Captain America 4, spoiler alert, officially starring the new Captain America Anthony Mackie returning in the prime role. This will be Mackie's first time being the lead in a Captain America movie, officially as our new Captain America.
Awesome. And I know we'll be talking about that in detail when we review the final episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, what else we got in the bag of fandom news?
Well, we're going to keep it Captain America for just a second here because part of this fandom is also the collection part as well. And since the announcement was made for Cap 4, Hot Toys, the figures that I keep behind me here, has officially announced and released photos of the new Captain America himself and our Winter Soldier as well.
Yeah, so we've got
So if
that
the
in the
viewers can
screen.
see it on the screen there, you can see these are fully articulated replicas in 1/6 form that are being made. If you guys take a look, it's almost spookily convincing these feel like the actual people themselves,
Yeah.
shrunk
Uh,
down into small
oh, yeah.
sizes.
I mean, the quality, first of all, Hot Toys is the premier in making, movie accurate as well as just human accurate, high end collectible figures. And they have definitely looked like they're going to deliver here. And isn't it cool to see our cap, which we'll talk about, in full regalia? So I look forward to talking more about it. But those figures look really good, and I'm really excited about it. Real quick though, before we move on, let me give a shout out to the room and our fourth mic, our what do we say, honorary host Alento is in the building. And what's cooking, Alento? What is cooking? We are happy that you are here. I see John is in the house from New Mexico. What's going on, John? Welcome to the party. And we've got other people in there right now, but let's kick it off. What else we got, buddy?
Yeah, so we covered our fandom news. So the next thing that we have lined up here is actually a brand new segment from our very own Tank with Tank Talks. Take it away, Tank.
All right, so this is gonna be maybe not so weekly, but any time I have something that I want to recommend, what I'm going to do is recommend something that's come out or that's coming out this week. As I stated before, near and dear to my heart is the DC animated movie universe. They did a reboot with the first movie was Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and then we showed the trailer for I believe the Batman Long Halloween
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks
I
ago.
remember that.
They actually just they came out with the next installment, which is Justice Society World War II. I don't want to give the whole story away, so you guys can watch it yourselves. But pretty much the basic story is starts off with it's mainly a Flash story. It's kind of like how Flashpoint was, just a little bit different, where Flash he actually goes back in time to like obviously World War II time, and he meets the Justice Society of America on in this one. It's Wonder Woman,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jay Garrick Flash, um, Our Man, which I don't know if anyone knows about him. He's like a scientist who made a formula that he gets like super strength and durability for an hour at a
Mm-hmm.
time. And then Hawkman and Black Canary. So he teams up with them, one to help them fight I think they're fighting the Germans or Nazis that in there. So yeah, I actually watched it a couple days ago. It was really good as all DC animated movies tend to be. So I definitely think everybody should check it out.
So the animation seems like it's. I've heard of this and I've seen the previews of it. The animation looks really cool. The other thing I was going to ask you in the platform you mentioned that it was on. Can you repeat it just one more time for the viewers?
What they can watch
Well,
on?
yeah, where they can
Where's
watch
it available?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Where is it
it's
available?
like a digital. It's like a digital on their any streaming services right now.
Okay.
Pretty sure eventually, since HBO Max has their whole deal where they have all the DC shows, eventually it'll come to HBO Max. But right now it's like a digital download. We gotta pay for it, or you can get it Blu-rays physical.
Okay, cool. Man, there's nothing like Blu-rays and having physical media, man. I am gonna be upset when it goes the way of the dinosaur, which, for all intent purposes, I keep hearing. But I just like to have something in my hands, tangible, that I know I purchased it, not some bullshniz digital.
Embrace the future, Clark.
Yeah,
Embrace.
yeah,
I
yeah.
went digital. I ain't looking back,
Well,
man.
yeah. What do you think about that, Tank? You agree with this guy?
Oh, yeah, oh yeah, I 100% agree. Like I have very few actual Blu-rays. Like I don't want to get up and have to get a DVD and take it out and all that. It's too much
Yeah.
work.
Remember the good old days when we had like a
Unless it's like
folder with a whole bunch of DVDs? We got to circle fly through them there. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think I still have one. Let me see. Yeah, I got you one right behind me. I'm not gonna grab it though, but it's like gigantic. I never go through it anymore. It's all digital.
I think like the last blue DVD I bought was like Deadpool 2, and that's just because like Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are like one of my favorite movies. So I think that's like the last time I bought one. I mean, I do have like the Man of Steel. I have like the actual like the case that has like that looks like the Superman symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I have that case still, but I mean I had to get that.
All right, fine. All right.
Exceptions, right? Like it's.
I guess I'm a purist.
course,
I guess I'm
digital.
a purist, and maybe
Oh
I'm
my
just a little old fashioned. So we'll
Nice
just
word for
we'll
You
just
should have just stopped
yeah.
old.
Hey,
I don't
real
know about
quick, I'm
that.
just a little confused because Tank, you look like you're in a hostage room. Like you seem far away, but also you seem like you shrunk. And I know you're over 6 foot tall. So am I missing something?
Yeah.
no. Well, one, I'm in my office for work, so yeah, it kind of is a hostage room. But no, because I moved my laptop back
Oh,
and moved my
okay.
seat
Gotcha,
back
gotcha.
because
You want to
I told y'all,
relax.
like I look back at the videos, I'm like I take up the whole box.
Okay, it's cool, man. Hey, listen, it's cool, man. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying. Alento was asking in the chat the platform. Alento, I think your younger bro here says that it is in digital platform somewhere, right? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
like I think a digital platform where you can like have to actually pay to watch to download it. It's not like on streaming services right now, but I'm pretty sure like eventually it'll come on HBO Max since they took over all the DC shows and movies
Yes.
from DC universe.
Yep. Awesome, man.
Yeah, they tend to keep the catalog pretty fresh on
Oh
that
yeah,
side,
no,
right,
no, they
Tank?
do, man. Listen, I can't say
Yeah.
enough about the HBO Max. I mean, I'm paying $15 for HBO Max, and to be honest with you, I think it's a very good deal. And so I'm good with it, man. Well, that's awesome, man. I definitely appreciate the recommendations, Tank.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
All right, what else we got going on there, Mr. New York? And I've been hearing that people have been being having to being peeled away from their seats because obviously we should probably mention that it's NFL Draft Day, which is probably why the initial room was quiet. But it looks like we're picking up now. So anyway, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that up here. So, guys, since I am not capable of doing this myself, I'm a big New York fan. So, if anybody can tell me who the New York Giants draft in the first round while we're still on the air, please put it in the comments here. I must know. But what do we have next? We have main event number one, finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We have been waiting for this since the last podcast,
We
guys.
sure have.
Who wants to get started on this one?
I'm really excited about talking about it, and I think the best way we can do so is let's start with the old and finish up with the new, and let's talk about the Not My Cap, and let's end this segment today. I have been sick and tired of talking about this guy. I have been just
Are you sure?
I'm just annoyed.
I would have never have guessed that at
I
all.
was
Please tell
annoyed.
us more.
I was irritated. Okay, I'm a middle aged man, and I get irritated easily. And this guy irritated me. But more importantly, I think everyone deserves second chances. And it appears as though Mr. Lunatic, the last episode, has turned out that hey, but I don't know if I like the way it was executed. So I'm gonna like throw it right to you, Danny, and get your thoughts on this guy, Johnny Walker's arc and his ultimate semi bootleg redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to hear this from me a lot on this episode, guys. Everything kind of fell flat for me on this episode, especially John Walker, because he has been like one of my favorite parts of our talks about this, especially the Not My Cap segment. And yeah, I mean, we've been talking about how he's not Steve Rogers, and I've been pumping that up. And Clark's always, putting me in my place with, hey, man, enough about Steve Rogers or this. And I was hoping there was going to be a better payoff to this story because it felt like it was one of the best parts of this episode of the show, in general, besides Sam becoming Captain America eventually. So when we got the build up, he's all crazy. He made a DIY shield, which looked terrible, by the way. I just want to point that out. That looked awful. And Tank, you called it. That thing was going to be flat by the end of the episode. You called it. And it's just like, what the hell, man? Like, I was expecting a big fight between Bucky and a big fight between Captain America and the new and former Captain America, whatever you want to call Johnny Walker. And it's just like, it was 2 seconds, and then he's back to like, oh, you know what? I should be a good guy.
Yeah.
It was so confusing. I couldn't follow on. I couldn't buy that payoff at all.
Yeah.
5 episodes being a dickhead, and then suddenly, you know what? I changed my mind.
I couldn't agree with you more. Tank, what were your thoughts there? Because I've got a lot to say, and I know I'm going to hog the mic, so I just better go right to you before you forget what you want to say.
Well, thank you for that. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I feel like I know you feel like he like. I mean, I like how. I mean, some parts of this last episode, I liked how he was in the beginning, like how he came in, screaming Carly's name. Then he was like that part where he was like, "You don't think Lamar's life mattered?" That part, that really got me. But then like how he kept like having to like do this because he kept like going crazy, kept hearing like the whatever those bells were, and then he just flipped like that. It was at least like he flipped quickly in the beginning, but it was at least like he at least went from like cocky douchebag to I mean went from trying to be too nice, then to a cocky douchebag, then to just crazy. This one it was just crazy. I'm back to just being how it was before, be trying to be too nice.
Yeah, I think my problem with the entire episode was the fact that one, it almost felt like the Justice League how they did Ben Affleck's Batman dirty. J.J. Abrams, no, excuse me. What is his name?
Josh Whedon.
The disgraced director Josh Whedon, trash. How he basically made Batman into a laughable, when he was literally a absolute brute force of nature in Batman v Superman. And I felt like I think it was more jarring for me in this. We went from 1 week to the next week, and I'm like, yo, what happened here? Like, and I think it was a disservice because for one, I think that it's almost like let's forget about the fact that he basically pounded a guy into oblivion with the Captain America shield not even 3 episodes before. Let's not forget the fact that he basically cursed out the entire committee, and he basically lied to Lamar's parents. Let's not forget about the fact that he was approached by, ultimately we found out to be Madam Hydra, right? Let's not forget also that it made it appear to us in the previews that he was coming for blood at Carly. And then for him to be like, Stella! Carly! And then she's like, come here. Come here. I think that was a complete kind of like, it was a letdown. It really I did appreciate the fact that he got such a poor arc ending because I don't like him, but I really felt like they did a disservice to the actual the season.
And it's your last episode of your season. In this case, it's gonna be of the series. We're not gonna get a season two. It's gonna be confirmed. Like, I'm sorry, I mean, it's your last episode. You could make it longer. That was a gripe that I had, and that's like what I'm starting to get with all these Marvel new shows that we're getting. Because it was all build up from WandaVision, right? And now I'm seeing the same kind of thing going on with the new show here, Falcon the Winter Soldier. You got all this building up to your last episode, and then your last episode, everything just seems to fall flat. Like the nothing really kind of like, really gives you that big satisfaction. Like, oh man, that was totally worth watching all these episodes. It's almost like it's the fourth quarter of the game. You're up by a touchdown, and then you just mess up the ball, and then they recover, and now the game's tied, and now they want to win it at the last second. So I don't know. For me, like I just feel like now that I have two Marvel shows to compare to back to back now, WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, I just feel like, you have a limited budget. You're freaking Disney Studios. Make it 2 hours. Make it a two-part finale if you need more time to flesh it out and give us a banging finale.
Right.
I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because I feel annoyed by that
No,
part.
absolutely. Danny, we're being asked that there may be some issues with the audio. You may be cutting out. You may be you might be eating the mic a little bit. So if you can just back away just slightly. We've got that feedback in the chat room. So I think you're fine. Your mic sounds fine, but I think we were getting some audio in and out. So Alento, can you just confirm for us that the audio is working properly? Other than that, right now, it appears to be working. So I just think it was a matter of how close you were to the mic. That happens to me often as well. So let's just try to avoid eating the mic. It's not a Subway sandwich, and it's not a hoagie. Okay?
Oh, terrible. I hate Subways.
All right. So, listen, that was a great point. And Lento also brought up the point of the fact that, Cap, our Cap, and Bucky were trying to not befriend, but like work with the other Captain America, the bootleg Captain America, to try and, what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so, they basically were looking to fight towards a greater good. And obviously Carly was the number one problem, and everybody else that was working with what was it called? The chest busters. What do they call them again?
Flag smashers.
The flag smashers.
The chest busters.
Yep, the flag smashers. So, so I think that's where we were at. But, I agree with you, Danny. I think you make a good point. Alento, I think that, having them, work together, I understand that's what Steve would have done as well. But I think the problem I had narratively with this finale was that it created such high stakes. And when we got to the finale, it did not pay off for me. Tank, did you have concerns with the finale as far as what Danny and I were stating as far as the payoff, as far as like putting the stakes up so high and then just saving a couple of people here and there? And what did you think?
Well, I think I was expecting like a big fight between Captain America and not my Cap. So yeah, that was definitely disappointing to not see that. I think well, not maybe not, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but because Marvel, especially all the movies, they were so big on this is building up to something else. This is something else. We're not used to that with TV shows.
Right.
We're used to TV show being finite
That's
for
a
the
good.
most part.
That's a
They
good
may
point.
have they may have a cliffhanger at the end,
Excuse me.
but the actual story or the conflict of the whole season, has a big payoff. Marvel, they're treating, even though these are TV shows, they're still treating them as next phases of the whole universe. It doesn't feel like we were fully paid off.
Yeah.
And also another thing, I think that the main payoff was also like with was less conflict related, and like with Bucky and uh, and Sam, and how they've adjusted to their new roles and their new lives post the blip and post all this nonsense.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Um, moving on from bootleg Cap and to talking about Bucky's arc. Um, I think Bucky's arc for me was a satisfying conclusion. I think they did that. I did think they did him right. I think that you had a lot to work with as far as the entire end series, which was about 50 minutes long. But I finally think that he got the measure of closure, and those were those little story beats. And I think Danny, you mentioned it earlier, or you mentioned it to me off camera. You want to talk a little bit about those beats that you really felt brought closure to Bucky's transformation from the Winter Soldier to back to the character we met in the first Avenger, Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I appreciate about the most about Bucky's story is the fact that not Bucky himself, but the fact that it didn't overshadow Sam's story. Because I mean, obviously, Sam's story is the most important in this series, in my opinion. But with Bucky, he hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunity to kind of shine on his own in the other movies. He's been the villain. He's been, a fugitive on the run. He came back from Infinity War to help out. Then he disappeared at the end of the movie. So you never really got the chance to spend time with Bucky because now Bucky's out of the loop of being the Winter Soldier. And how does somebody work? How does someone deal with that kind of PTSD when
Right.
it's specifically when you were mind controlled and you didn't plan any of this? You were just a guy who died in the first movie, the
Right.
first Avenger, and now you have all this blood in your hands. How do you cope with that? And I like the way
Right.
it slowly kind of progressed. He met up with the father in the first episode and try to make amends with him there. But I love the fact that Sam helped him understand how to accomplish this goal better. And I love the little moments with Bucky. I love the fact that he was in Wakanda and they were trying to help him kind of recover from the brainwashing there with the I can never say it. Tank, how do you say them again? I always forget how to say their names. The Wakandan
Oh,
guards.
Dora Miraji.
Dor Miraji, thank you. I should know that by now. 6 episodes in, but yeah, I love those little character moments with him there, and I like the fact that with Sam now in place as the new Captain America, it almost feels like Bucky has a purpose again. And he's gonna do the second act in the first.
And just for clarity, Yori was the elderly gentleman, the elderly Asian man whose
Right.
son
Yep.
RJ uh, was killed by Bucky, and so I think providing that closure to Yori about his son RJ was important, not only for the story but for us to advance and move forward for Bucky's arc. And I think Bucky's arc, I feel confident that we can move on from the Winter Soldier and bring back Bucky the way he truly was intended. You know what I mean? As far as who he really was in the in the first Avengers
Yeah.
movie with Captain America.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because like I actually just rewatched the first Avenger, and in that one, up until even until up until he died, he was like actually a really positive,
He
upbeat
was.
guy.
You got to remember, he
So
protected Steve
yeah,
Rogers
yeah,
from
definitely.
bullying, and
Yeah,
so if you really want to talk about who the first good person was, it was Bucky. That's the first good person that Captain America met,
yeah. And
Steve
then so
Rogers.
to see like I know we're not there yet, but at the end during the party, like the scenes with all the party, he seemed more about being that upbeat person that he was in the first Avenger. So just seeing that whole seeing him come to him becoming more of who he was before was
Right.
a really was really good.
I don't
And
know.
also I
Yeah,
did
go
notice
ahead.
one thing when he saved the people in the armored truck. I'm pretty sure that was like his first time, as being a Winter Soldier, White
Yes.
Wolf, whatever. That was like his first time actually just personally saving people.
Right. I
He's
agree.
always, he's like you said, Danny. He was, was a villain. Then he was fugitive. Then he was just in Infinity. He was just in the massive wars, killing, I'm about to say Dark Side, Thanos, Thanos'
Wrong.
It's
Wrong.
creatures.
okay. You mean bootleg Dark Side?
But I think that was his first time just personally helping people and getting recognition for helping people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. The other thing
good
too
point, man.
that really kind of gave me a little choked up was when the soldiers addressed him as Sergeant Barnes. I thought that was really, meaningful. Do you guys remember that?
I didn't catch that actually.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be
When he
honest.
was
They
coming
call him
through the
Sergeant Barnes.
gate.
That's a
Yeah,
great
when he came
line
through the
there.
gate and they called him, they addressed him Sarge appropriately. So as Sergeant Barnes, I thought that was really cool.
That's very
That was
cool.
a
I
nice
didn't know
touch.
that.
That was a really
I
nice
like
touch.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A very nice touch. It was during the part where he was going into the building, and when Carly clearly bamboozled him. I think that's when he was like he had his guard down. He was a good guy, you know what I mean? And then Carly bullshitted him, and she was able to get the information she wanted. But yeah, very pleased with Bucky's story arc. Speaking of Carly, Carly, Carly. We always knew you weren't meant for this world, but alas, you did not make it out of the episode alive. Um, I was torn about this character, gentlemen. I think the big reason why I was torn was the fact that I did not like her at all as a character, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. And two, I felt as though once again we were like what it almost like she became like some sort of like background character in the last episode. So I was disappointed with that piece of it. What were your thoughts, Danny?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too, Clark. If like honestly, the whole flag smashers thing, we don't really talk about it on our show here because quite honestly, they never really do anything really eventful. There's like you don't feel like they're truly a threat to anybody. So I mean, as far as the whole flag smasher crew, like the whole thing was just confusing. Like you had people like Carly who, wanted to get back at the government for what they did after the 5 year hiatus with everybody coming back. And then you had people in our own camp who didn't even understand her and why she wanted to be so aggressive with her actions. I mean, even showed to the very end here when, the three or four of them that were together weren't they were doing the escape. She told them to do their little saying that they say together, and they didn't even sound convinced that they wanted to follow her.
Did not at all.
So,
Yeah, I
so
was
then they're
very
like,
surprised about that.
so how can we really take her seriously as a credible like villain, so to speak? And I know she's not a true villain in that sense because she has reasonable motives as well. But like there was no character development for them. Like I never cared when the show went to them. I always counted the time until when Bucky and Sam will come back on the show, or maybe with Zemo. You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So when she finally got her end, it was just like it went with a whimper for me, as opposed to like good she got what she had coming to her. Like oh, I'm sad that she's gone. I didn't feel anything when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because like you're saying, I think it would have been like good for them to have like some kind of backstory as to why they all follow her so much. Because like you said, they still followed her, even though at times they showed that they didn't agree with what she was doing. Like anytime she wanted to kill people, they always had to look like, what? No, we don't want to do this. Like I said, at the end there, I think that's what happened. Like she said to kill all the hostages, and they're all like, they all had the looks, and I think one of them said, no, we shouldn't do that, but they still were going to go ahead with it. I just want to know, like, why did y'all follow her? What did she do? Because you all have, I know she's not stronger than you. You all have the same super soldier serum. So what is it about her that y'all
Right.
follow her so religiously that y'all will do whatever she says?
Yeah, that's a great point. And also, one of the things that for me was overlooked here was that I never got a internal struggle that was the serum screwing with her mind like it was with Johnny Walker. You know what I mean? And so I could buy that more so to why she was acting crazy, but it never gave us a visual cue or even a verbal cue as to her like having side effects to the serum and making her gonna go bananas. I didn't really get that.
It just felt like her entire arc was very vague. I mean, she wanted to protect the innocent refugees who came back when these concentration camps. I get that, but I mean, it was more politically derived as opposed to like people being killed on their side for no given reason. So it all felt the whole storyline felt like really like a template just to get Sam and Bucky to the end of the series.
Yeah.
Like they had so many things going on. Honestly, I would have preferred personally if Zemo betrayed Sam and Bucky, and then he turned out to be the main villain, and then we got that big blow off between them. Anything else, but like Captain America just came out, and by the way, his badass new suit. That suit, let's talk about it, is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Before we get to that, though, because I really want to truly save the best for last, and I think we owe it to our Cap to do that. Let's just get this out of the way. The biggest, worst kept secret in the entire series, the Power Broker. Thoughts about Agent Carter end up being the Power Broker,
Well,
and
Danny called it.
yeah, Danny, you called
Mm-hmm.
it. Worst
Like
worst kept
I didn't
secret.
think it was.
As soon as Danny said it, I kept on saying, yeah, he's right. That there's absolutely makes completely a lot of sense here. I was disappointed that she was Rogue only because of her lineage. Okay. Obviously, Cap's, that's her great aunt, I believe it is, or something along
Yeah.
those lines. So, disappointed there, um, but not surprised. Not surprised. So we'll
Yeah,
have
like
to see. And then Madam Hydra, I also felt like there wasn't really. It was more like, hey, Johnny Walker, I'm gonna make sure you get all these cool things and costumes and whatever. And Johnny Walker's like, cool, man. We're gonna like fight the system now. We're gonna do what we have to do. This is so freaking cool. Danny, your thoughts with how that whole thing wrapped up before we get into Cap?
Yeah, well, Power Broker for that part of the question. Told you so. Secondly, Madam Hydra, I feel like we missed something there. I feel like her introduction onto the show would have been a lot better had we got to see what she did in Black Widow first. Like I feel like a lot of this was recorded before the delays and all that stuff happened, and it just kind of stuck to the plan. Because you know him joining her is a big deal. I did research after the last show, and I don't know of a team up. Tank, correct me if you know of one where those two got together as a
no.
team before.
No,
So
I think they're gonna like you said before, like we talked about last time. They're making the Thunderbolts.
mhm.
But I don't think he was in it. I think they're just they're gonna probably have him in it. But I think they're just they're changing things up.
Yeah,
But yeah, but as far as I know, I don't think she was because those two never talked or came in contact in the comics.
yeah. I mean, I did a little research afterwards just to see if I was on the right track because I was like, hey, let's see if I'm 2 for 2. I got the Power Broker right. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was an okay scene. I like that he has the comic accurate suit though now because that's the way he does look in the comics. It's black and red, not blue and red. So I thought that part was nice.
Right. Was it
Um,
Agent
U.S.
U.S.
agent.
agent.
U.S. Agent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Interesting.
don't know, but that's all I got for
All
right
right.
there.
Yeah.
Tank, real quick. Thoughts on the speech by Captain America?
That was his that speech. It was amazing. That was very Captain America, Steve Rogers speech. So, which I think they were doing a lot of that, like showing how much he like, probably learned and how they're showing more reasons why he was chosen by the old Captain America to be Captain America. Yeah, that speech, like it was a long one too, but even though it was, because I watched it twice, it was a long speech, but it never actually felt like it never drawn on. Like all the points he was making were really good. I was like, y'all, you're just choosing the easy way out. You can sit and think about a better way to go about this. Like this, and that was another thing. I think that was another reason. I think that why they had Carly in there was because Sam the whole time was kept trying to show her like fire, say that that she has humanity and she's just a kid.
Yeah.
And so he was like, this girl went through all this because she had, and all these people followed her because they disagree with what you were doing so much.
Right.
I mean, that speech, that was like, I mean, pretty much just a perfect speech.
Yeah. I thought it was really good too. Your thoughts on that speech?
Yeah, I agree with Daniel there too. I think that was one hell of a speech. Honestly, I feel like the show did a disservice though. And again, it kind of goes back to what my complaints are about not having like prominent people who are actually, foils for Sam and Bucky. Like the what was that? The bald guy. What was his title? Was he a senator or was he a governor? What was his title? Because he was there at the court martial
I think
last
it was
week.
a senator, I think.
Yeah, I believe
Right.
so.
Could be wrong.
And correct me if I'm wrong. He's the same one that Bucky gave the shield to in the first episode, and then announced the new Captain America. Is that the same guy?
I think he gave it to someone. No, I think he gave it to someone at the Smithsonian, and
Right.
then that guy gave the shield to Not My Cat.
Well, you sure it was the Smithsonian guy? Or wasn't the bald senator guy? I feel like it was. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'll double check.
I know for a fact I know he was the one that he gave the shield to Not My Cat. I don't think he was the one that Sam gave it to, but I could be wrong. But I know for a fact that he gave the shield to Not My
Yeah,
Cat.
and I think that
No.
they had the power to make decisions and that would influence the world.
Right.
The things that whatever was going on there.
My point being with that is, I mean, he's having a speech with these guys, and he's getting. I mean, Sam. First of all, Anthony Mackie killed that speech. I thought it was strong. I thought it was powerful. I thought it sent a great message. But I feel like the people that he was talking to, these senators that he just rescued, the acting was terrible. I felt like, I mean, if you go back and listen to their lines and forget about Falcon's lines, or Captain America's lines now, like there should have been more like pushback to what he was saying, and I felt like it would have been way more powerful that he was still standing up for it, even though the powers that be would not agree with what he's saying right now. Does that kind of make sense? Like I just kind of wish that like the speech that he gave, he had a foil that would actually hit harder with than what it did. Because they were just like, oh, but is it the government's fault that we had these refugee camps? Should we have to pay for it? And he was just like, yeah, and he gave a great reason why.
To be honest with you, Danny, I think it's a great point that you say that because I thought the acting wasn't that great. But I want to be honest with you. I was so enthralled again with the speech, and it really, again, for me, it harkens back to the earnest, sincere, humble way Christopher Reeve portrayed Superman and Chris Evans portrayed Batman. Captain
Wow.
America. What the
Wow.
hell am I doing here? Oh, I'm pulling a tank. And when you said Thanos earlier, and you said the other guy, so
I do it once. You do it every
I
week.
know,
You
but
call
you
me
did do
out.
it though. I want to
Yeah,
make sure.
man.
I want to make sure that everybody knew you did it first. So anyway, like I was saying,
Typical no.
yeah,
Typical.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. But no, I was
When he gets the names right, folks, that's when he did the research on that specific topic. Let's throw that
All
out
right,
there.
all right.
That's
Take
the only
it
time
easy.
it's correct.
Look at, listen. All right, well, hold on a second. I don't think what is it? Tank going, help me, help me, help me, Danny, help me. He doesn't need you to gang up on me, Danny. All right, I'm crying out loud.
so-
All right, no. In all seriousness, the point that I'm trying to make. Before I flub my lines, okay? This is live TV, man. We're live, man. We're live, baby. So, is that Anthony Mackie, his delivery, his mannerisms, his sincerity in his voice, it captures everything that we want Cap to be, our Cap. And so I was enthralled with the speech, and I didn't care that everybody else sucked because he was so damn good. So I like to look at it as Anthony Mackie was so damn good that he pretty much pretty much chewed up the scenery with anyone else in there. That was just my
Definitely save that part because his speech was incredible. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yeah.
I loved it too.
I mean, the writers did a great job. Although there had some, I had some concerns that it was going to go into a little bit too preachy territory with the way the script was going in there. But I think they wrangled it back in when they started talking about Carly and basically she was willing to die for this cause and the people there as well. Prior to that, I was worried about, okay, are we getting to, like, are we trying to make a statement, or can we make it more organic? And they threaded the line just a little bit more than I would have expected. But again, Anthony Mackie's delivery was amazing. And the fact of the matter is, I look back to the scene when Captain America provides him with the knowledge that this shield, it is yours. You know what I mean? When he said, "This doesn't feel right," it should. You know what I mean? So yeah, I that part of me really felt awesome about. Now,
You know what?
Go
Not to
ahead.
cut you off. You know what? To save that moment for me, and this is just me doing fan service here. I would have loved, while he was doing that speech, old man Steve Rogers was in the back, kind of seeing him deliver the speech, being Captain America for the first time.
The
Just kind
prop,
of give him the nod,
yeah.
like, great job.
The problem with that, Danny. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are piping. The problem with that, Danny, is it over. I think the ghost of Steve Rogers needs to stay that way. You know what I mean? Because, like, I feel like it would have negated the power and the impact of that moment. A black
So
Captain
almost like
America.
he would kind of steal
Yeah,
the moment.
a black,
Yeah,
like,
I
let's
can see that side of
like,
it
do we
there.
really need an acknowledgement there? Like, he gave him that acknowledgement when he handed the shield to him. That was the acknowledgement, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But moving right along, because I know we want to cover Mortal Kombat. But before we get to that point, right? There's one more thing that I think you guys would want us to talk about as it pertains to this final episode before we give our final thoughts and review score. When he met up finally, when Captain America came up and he, and talked to him about the fact that he believes in it, the cause, and how Isaiah was just, he was like, you almost had me. He didn't have him yet, but that next scene when he brought him to the Captain America museum in the Smithsonian, and the closure brought there to Isaiah, it just was an emotional. I had a tear in my eye, man, when he finally got the recognition for those black soldiers that were experimented on with the serum, that they were recognized for the sacrifices they made during that time. To me, was so impactful and just really resonated for me. Danny, what your thoughts, and then Tank to close this out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been dying to talk about Isaiah Bradley for a while now. I wish we had more time in the last episode because, that initial conversation that he had with Sam before he officially committed himself to being Captain America and taking up the mantle to himself, man, that story that he was telling at his house was so heartbreaking. Just, how not only was he, you know, tested on, put in jail. I mean, I dug into Isaiah Bradley's backstory. It's a deep story. I recommend anybody who hasn't. It's a super powerful story. It's so messed up. Um, but I mean, essentially, he was the first Black Captain America. Let's call it what it was. And you think about the lineage of the Captain America mantle, and you think about kind of the similarities between Steve Rogers and Isaiah Bradley, and how different the result was. It really sucks when you think about it.
Because the
I
color of
mean,
his skin. Let me
because
just
the
point
color of his
that.
thing.
Let me
But
just
that was
point that out.
yeah, it broke my heart there seeing that because he was pretty much essentially he was jailed and practiced on because he wanted to break the rules and save his fellow brothers in arms. And when he came back, he was pretty much arrested for that. Meanwhile, we keep talking about Captain America 1, but I think that was the inspiration for this show for the writers as well too, because there's a lot of callbacks. The first Captain America Captain America himself goes to rescue Bucky and the other people from that concentration camp. And when he comes back, he says to Tommy Lee Jones' character, the captain or soldier, surgeon, whatever he was at his rank, he goes to him, he goes, "I'm prepared to be court-martialed, sir." And he goes, "That won't be necessary." You know? So the fact that we have two people doing two brave, heroic things in two different outcomes, not because of anything else other than the fact it was the color of skin.
Yeah.
And Isaiah's hurt. I can feel it, and I can feel it from Sam hearing it there, and that's what really said to him, like, I got to turn this around. This I can't stand for this.
Yeah,
so
that really got to me. It really did.
Yeah,
and that's a great point. Tank, take us home, man. What were your thoughts? Did it have an emotional impact as it did with us, with you?
Oh, yeah, it almost made me shed one thug tear. But no, I mean, I just love that. Like, it wasn't just a one and done scene when Bucky first took Cap to see him. I like that. That even without Bucky, he just like I just love that his story resonated so much with Sam that he just went back. He kept going back on his own to talk to him to get his story. And actually, I slightly disagree with that. I think Sam had him with his speech, because you go back to the speech, they would they cut to Isaiah, and you can see his face, like him changing, and him like real, because before, last time we saw him, he was like, no self-respecting black man should want to be Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So like his face, when Sam was giving his speech, he was like, okay, maybe he should be Captain America.
Yeah, I think the point, and I definitely see what you're saying there. I think when I was bringing up that point, I really felt like he believed it for him, but he didn't believe it that it could happen. The recognition and the love would happen for him, and I think when Sam brought him to the Captain America Museum, and he realized that the acknowledgement was all he wanted. He wasn't looking for fortune or glory. He just wanted people to remember and to know the sacrifices that were made, not just for him, but for all the black serum soldiers that had the serum. You know what I mean? So for me, I just felt like that came full circle for Isaiah's arc. I think all along he felt like, yes, Sam, like you said, during that scene at his home, that Sam, he believed that piece of it, but I don't think he ever thought he would get the acknowledgement, and the recognition from the government. That was an amazing and powerful closure, I believe, to this arc, and which brings us to the end of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which now becomes Captain America and the White Wolf, otherwise known as Bucky, when you really look at it. We can close out by saying this. One, we have our Cap, gents. We have our Cap, and it is Sam. And I am so happy that it is. And so as we go around, final thoughts. I thought overall I'm going to give the show an A. I had concerns with this final episode, but the whole story was impactful, and it was done in such a great way, such rich character development, and to put a character in front of us, a superhero, a black male who is Captain America, is a powerful moment in media, and I hope that people realize that. I definitely thought the episode was a B minus, but I'm gonna say to you as a overall entire arc is an A for me. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, for the episode really disappointed me. I made no qualms about it so far. And that's the thing about television, guys, is like you can love the ride, but if the destination isn't where you want it to be, you're gonna remember that over the good times as well too. So for the episode, I'm gonna call it honestly a C plus. Didn't like it. Good parts. There were some good parts in it there, but I mean, I'd still say it wasn't the strongest episode they had. So that's kind of a bummer. But grading as an overall show, I would actually give it a B plus.
Fair enough. Thank you, Danny. Tank?
Yeah. Well, yes. I would give overall. I give the whole series an A. Not A plus, close to A plus, but not so far. Um, only issue I had with the final episode was that I was really looking forward to that battle between,
Agreed.
US agent and Cap. Um, but but even without that, and with the lackluster of the flag smashers, I still the last it's like I was for my episode, like every episode was kind of like better than the last. Wasn't better than the last one, but every episode was an improvement over the last one. So I definitely enjoyed it, and I can't wait for Captain America 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And which leads us to just saying, I love the costume. I also do not like that it's too white for me. Like the whiteness, I felt like it could have been a little bit more muted white. That's just my personal preference from a aesthetic for the costume. Other than that, I thought the costume looks great. I do have some concerns with the neck, how he's going to move around, but I think that's for flying purposes. Danny, your thoughts on the costume overall?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of spoiled it when we talked about it prematurely. I love it. I mean, it's comic book accurate. I think it looks great in live action. I don't mind the neck thing. I see what you mean. Kind of having Batman problems,
Right.
I get that.
Keaton
Um,
Batman. Yep.
no, but I mean, we showed like a couple photos of the Hot Toys collectible version, so I got a chance to really get a good look at it because the whole episode was in the dark, so you couldn't like, appreciate all the fine details. He has two robot Red Wings now on his jetpack, which I think is cool.
Mhm.
But I love his visor. They extended it out and it made it a little bit more see through, so you can see more of his eyes. I mean, I think it's the best Captain America suit I've seen. Period.
Okay.
Tank,
Fair.
what about you, man?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it's pretty much right out of the comic books. And also like it kind of mirrors a lot of Steve Rogers suits in the MCU. I'm pretty sure they didn't mention it, but you can definitely tell that the wings are vibranium since it came from the ground. He
Yeah.
was like, with how he was fighting with him and sticking him to the ground, and I can't remember what it was, but like, yeah, like, so like something bounced off of the wings and the shield. So yeah, so I mean, I love it.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our review of the the season finale or series finale of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now we can truly say we have our cap. Our cap is Sam, and I couldn't be happier with that, gentlemen. So, without further ado, let's get right to the second main topic. Mortal Kombat! Bam! Danny, let's just kick things off. I mean, we're going a little over, but let's kick things off. Let's get right to it. You saw both the 1995 version and the 2021 version. Start off. What were your thoughts on this 2021 version, and how does it hold up to the 1995 version?
Yeah, I mean, the new one, I mean, it's great. It's more up to date and all that stuff like that. But I mean, for me, I mean, I prefer the 1995 one after watching this one, to be honest with you guys.
Okay, Tank. Initial thoughts there.
Initial thoughts mean I'm gonna say this. I watched it twice. It's better watching it the second time. I don't know if y'all how many times I watched it. It is better the second time. The first time I was like, this is mediocre as all hell. Second time I was like, second time I was like, it's a little bit better. I would say the story I prefer 1995. The fights and the gore, obviously, I'm going to choose this one.
All right, and for me, I thought this was a, uh, an adequate action, a hard R action movie, a Mortal Kombat movie. It was not very good. The one thing you would hope for a Mortal Kombat movie is to have an entertaining and engaging experience with the characters that you grew up with in the arcade. And frankly, I felt like there was too much exposition and there was hardly any Mortal Kombat. And that was a disappointment and a big mistake, in my opinion, when you're trying to establish a franchise. I get it; they're trying to world build and do a sequel, but that I think was a mistake in doing this
Yeah.
first one. I thought the 1995 version was far superior, and I didn't even think that one was as good as I'm saying it to be, because even that one had its issues. Whitewash anyone? Anyway, Danny, what stood out to you in this version, the 2021 version?
Yeah, well, let's. I don't want to beat up on this because I do love Mortal Kombat. So let's start with some positives. It's better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Let's get that out the way. So we can we're gonna be critical, but we're not saying it's that bad.
No.
Yeah, it's nothing is ever bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That's the bar. We're okay. No, listen. I think I mean, as far as my beginning parts of my thinking about this, I feel like they got a lot of things right. A lot of things I would like them to get better at there. I don't like being tricked as a movie goer. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. I do not like being tricked as a movie goer.
Especially in
marketing. Shame on you. Okay.
Thank you.
I came here for Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Okay, those are my two favorite characters of all time in the franchise, and I call this the Godzilla effect. You guys remember the first Godzilla movie back when they rebooted it? The marketing show Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. You're thinking, oh man, it's going to be a good movie. Well, spoiler for those who haven't watched it yet. I'm going to tell you what happens here. Poor Bryan Cranston bites the dust within the first 20 minutes. And then he gets replaced with his less charismatic son for the remainder of the movie. Okay? So, I'm going to say this right now. When we got Scorpion and we got Sub-Zero in that beginning, I was excited. And then you sent that out, that little trailer out to get everybody jacked up, excited to watch it the next day. And I watched it, and then I was waiting for Mortal Kombat to start again. Because who the hell is this Cole Young guy? Not my Cole Young. Hashtag not my Cole Young. We're going to go there with that one because I'm that mad about this right here, okay? Super bland. Boring. He was not part of Mortal Kombat to begin with. And quite honestly, once we lost Sub-Zero and Scorpion for a good chunk of the movie and we had to focus on that guy, I was grossly bored.
Dull. Tank?
Disgusted.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I've just been ruined by movies, but back when we
burned.
When they first released the first 7 minutes before the movie came out, I knew that's what was going to happen. I knew they were going to have the first team was going to be Scorpion versus Sub-Zero before they were Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then I knew we probably weren't going to see Scorpion until the end of the movie. I knew that was exactly what was going to happen. And then, of course, once I watched it, and then they spoiled who Cole was in that first movie, as soon as I saw Baby, I was like, okay, well, I know who Cole is now.
Exactly.
I was like, I really knew what was going to happen. I was like, so we're really not going to see Scorpion in full Scorpion until the very end when he's fighting Sub-Zero.
Which, by the way, the baby was actually a girl, and it was one of his ancestors. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought that was going to be cool because
so did
Mortal Kombat's weird. Wherever they are, looks like
I thought the same thing.
But then come here, it could be the same time frame.
I thought the same thing too. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, it was a ancestor, right? Lineage, but I totally agree with you there.
I mean, but the opening fight was dope. I'll say that the opening fight was dope.
Well, there's the problem.
I kind of wish they hadn't spoiled it with the whole 7 minutes that they showed.
That's the problem.
Because that was another thing I think I had. All the most, like 99% of the fights were shown in the trailer.
You give all the fireworks before the movie even gets going, and it never truly gets going. For me, it's bad when the only redeeming and interesting character is the psychopath, lunatic, foul-mouthed piece of you-know-what, Kano.
Kano, man.
It was Drano. I mean, this dude was like, I mean, he was right. The best part was a psychopath. That was the best part. Don't get me started on Sonya. Sonya was horrific. Sonya was horrific. The actress unfortunately could not act at all, and not to mention the other actors had a lot of trouble as well. The Lizard acted better. The Lizard special effects and the guy with all the arms and everything acted better than the actors that were portraying them. It was really disappointing because you would think you spend a little bit more money to get some more established actors than these guys. That I think it could have been a lot better acted. But once again, I really was very disappointed at you gave me Mortal Kombat without the combat. You
Yeah.
gave me the dress rehearsal. Come on. And then you get cute. I hate when movies do this. You get burned, Tank, we get burned, but I hate when they get cute. And they start putting stuff in there that has nothing to do with the entire source material that they're getting it from. The whole let me kill somebody
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna get that. Like,
yeah,
what the hell is that?
yeah,
I get my
yeah.
cool Mortal Kombat
Right.
tattoo.
Well, what the heck
Yeah,
is that?
that was like when at what point did Mortal Kombat powers become
Right.
transferable?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy I'll buy those powers and then we'll just transferable. It was just
Yeah.
ridiculous. I thought that was a big problem, and it was indicative of how I felt throughout the entire sit down. I was bored because I did not feel I was watching a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If it was
Yeah.
just some sort of like random action movie, like generic, then fine. It is what it is. But you put it as Mortal Kombat. You had good production value, but you shit the bed with the script and the story and the actors.
Yeah.
What
And
I
then
don't
like
understand about this is the fact that they're marketing this to the people who follow Mortal Kombat,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the people who are watching this movie, you want to help new people get into Mortal Kombat by creating this lame character of Cole Young and then having him be the viewer's perspective of what Mortal Kombat is. Like, that's a slap in the face that's been following Mortal Kombat for almost 30 years. Like, it came out in 92. It's almost 30 years old. And the fact that it was a prequel to the tournament, that's like, no, you don't do that. Like, Mortal Kombat is about the tournament. It's always about the tournament. You don't have a Mortal Kombat movie and then not have the tournament and why they're doing this in the first place. It's the lamest shit I've ever heard in my life.
yeah.
I mean, like, let's start getting into these characters, guys, because I really want to talk about this like big time. Because I'm mad now. You got me thinking about it again. I feel like I just saw it five
Is it
seconds ago. I want
grinding
to
your
talk
ear?
something.
Grind your gears, brother?
It is grinding my gears. I want my own segment so I can talk shit about Mortal Kombat. Let's talk about Liu Kang. Liu Kang. Liu
He
Kang has
was
always
weird.
been the badass of the group for the Earth realm. What did you guys think about Liu Kang?
One,
Tank.
the way he was talking, like he was very stiff and extra, and I don't. It was really weird. Like I mean, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember how if
The
like I
kid
remember.
acted better.
Yeah,
His
I'm
daughter.
trying to remember. Say again.
The daughter acted better in the
Yeah.
film.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, then also like the fact, like the fact that he was like getting beat down by Cabal at first, and the fact that because in every incarnation he had major beef with Shang Tsung. He seemed like he didn't even care about Shang Tsung at all when he came through.
Like, they just met.
Yeah, that
They
was the first
just
time.
met. Like, hey, what's up?
Not a
I'm
Yeah,
Liu
finger. Not a
Kang.
finger.
and also I didn't like how he was like so like trying to think of the good word, but like he was so timid or whatever towards Kung Lao.
Docile.
Like
Docile.
yes, yeah, docile. He was so docile towards Kung Lao. I'm like, what is going on? I mean, no, they explained it, because he was like a street urchin or orphan, and Kung Lao was like this prince or whatever. But still, I don't recall him ever being like that towards Kung Lao. So that was weird and annoying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, and listen, there was a lot of narrative issues and there was character problems. I did think they got Raiden right. I thought it was a
Uh,
good character. I thought it was better than the Christopher Lambert version. At least we didn't get a white actor portraying a clearly Asian character, right? So
90s, different time.
right. But what I'm saying, hey, I gotta call it out. I mean, but I thought the character was well done, and I thought the actor portraying him did a really good job, and I thought the
one thing I,
effects used was good.
one thing I didn't like was like he seemed scared of Shang Tsung too.
Yeah,
Where
I think
Raiden is a god who could take down Shang Tsung, and the Mortal Kombat hadn't happened yet, so he had full right to fight whoever
right.
and to take him away. So the fact that he seems scared of him, that kind of turned me off. But everything besides that, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Okay.
But yeah, anything else, Danny, that stood out for you?
What else grinding my gears? You're asking
Yeah.
me, Clark?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get into this rated R crap. Okay. That's the other part of this marketing that sold us as well too. No, guys, don't you guys worry. It's going to be a hard R, and it's going to be an R, and we're going to include all the fatalities. It's going to be gruesome and all that. There was one goddamn
it
fatality.
was cartoon. It was cartoon R, in my opinion. That's what it
There,
felt like. I
the
agree.
coolest, the coolest kill was Kung Lao when he threw his hat
Yeah,
and he dragged. That's actually a real fatality he does in the game.
yeah.
That was cool. But everybody else's stuff, their moves, lame, lame. I wanted more blood. If
They
you're not gonna
killed.
give me
They
a good
killed
story,
him
give me
off pretty
something
quick
gory.
too. That sucked.
Who?
They killed him
Kung Lao.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing I didn't like about Raiden. He just sat there and watched him. He could have stopped. He could have stopped.
You
At
know,
least, at least stop the soul
just put a
sucking.
puppy face.
Stop the soul. Yeah, that's true. That no, he looks like a Sharpei.
Well, what do I do now? I don't know. Be Liu Kang. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. It was, and again, I hate to, to denigrate a actress, but man, Sonya was not good.
So
Yeah,
wouldn't.
she was
Oh,
getting she was getting uh dissed so bad by Raiden and Kung Lao. Like you don't
dude,
Mhm.
even have a mark. What
it
are you
was
doing?
really bad.
Yeah.
Kung Lao's like, you're not allowed. No, you're not allowed in the sand. No.
I mean, that was kind of her build up for her fake arc. Like, oh, poor Sonya was left out of the boys' club, but don't worry, guys. We'll redeem her later on. That was okay. I
Yeah,
rather Kano was so good. I'd rather Kano kill Sonya, even though I know that's not supposed to happen.
right.
Just so I can keep Kano, because Kano was hilarious.
Yeah, I
Well, they could
thought
have had
Kano was
her.
good. I was upset that they killed him off. They could have used him for further movies. I thought it was a mistake to do that. I thought it was a mistake to kill off any of them, to be honest with you, especially if you're not going to have them enter the Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just, I just
Yeah.
thought about
Tournament.
something. I just thought about something. The way she killed him, she stabbed him in his eye.
With a
Which,
gnome.
yeah, but in the original, his eye is, cybernetic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they could bring him back and just have him be
Well,
give him a
wasn't it the
cybernetic
good
eye.
eye
Oh
that she
yeah.
got rid of?
Listen, full
No, it was
disclosure.
the same eye that the laser was coming out of. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
it was Mortal
in
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat,
They could bring him back somehow and have him
yeah, I was
act.
gonna say, like, yeah, Mortal Kombat, no one stays
We
dead.
got bigger.
I mean,
We
that's
got bigger fish to fry than that.
So
Let's get a better story, get a better director, and get a little bit more better actors. But I think we're stuck with what we got. The movie has done very well at the box office. Was number one, including the HBO Max. Made over $23 million. Is doing well worldwide. I
that was a
believe that this
pandemic.
will warrant a sequel. I just think that they better do a way better job with getting us to the tournament a lot faster. Otherwise, you're gonna lose audience very fast.
I've been seeing a lot from comments and everything. I feel like the people like us, the purist, don't like it. Everyday people who don't follow it, they just play the game a little bit. Probably, they're loving it.
Well, right. My wife watched it with me, and she said I liked it for what it was, but she had absolutely no idea what Mortal Kombat was.
your
Yeah.
wife's wrong. Show those other people.
So
Say it
she
right
didn't
now.
know anything about it. She's like, "Yeah, it's a good action movie. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening, but that was it." So yeah, I listen. Overall, if I'm to give it a grade, I'm gonna definitely give it a C, and then I'm gonna compare it to the 95 version. I would give a B minus, but this one definitely a C. What about you, Danny?
I give it a C as well too. I like that other. I like the '95. I went back and I watched it afterwards. I was like, you see, that's what I'm talking about. That's Liu Kang.
Well, right, it was
An ass.
definitely well
Yeah.
well done.
I'll say B plus on that
I
one.
mean, it wasn't perfect; it had its issues, but I still give it a B minus. How about you, Tank?
Yeah, I'll give it a C plus B minus.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly because they also had like the iconic moves in it. They also like Kung Lao was saying like a lot of like the iconic lines like "Test your might." He's like flawless victory. They that with the one they had like a lot of like scenery from and from of like one dude is I think his name is can't remember. There's one character they show like the dude with like the that looked kind of Egyptianish. He's like a character in the new ones. I can't remember his name. Then they had so they had like they tried to do some fanfare for us fans, even though the
Mhm.
story was shit. So
Yeah.
I'll give them a B minus for trying that at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but that's why. But everything besides that is a C plus.
Yeah. Also, too, I was disappointed the music wasn't utilized properly, in the film, and at the end it was kind of like a I don't know, abbreviated rip-off version. Did you feel the same way, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, I get why you don't want to use it. It's super iconic. I mean, even if you don't care about Mortal Kombat, everybody knows the theme song, right? Um, but I guess the director just made a personal decision. He wanted to make his own kind of Mortal Kombat movie, so he threw it at the end,
Well,
which is fine.
did y'all catch like during the final Sub Zero and
Hmm.
Scorpion fight? They
I think
had
that was the
like they
first
had
time they're in. They did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they wasn't full on, but they had you could tell that
Right. They gave us
that's throwing it
little,
in, throwing the score in a little bit to it. So that,
yeah,
I did like that a lot.
little teasers.
What? Let's be some positives here though. Like there's some good in this here. I feel like if they are gonna do another one, which it sounds like it is, I think Joe Taslim, the actor who plays Sub Zero, has confirmed that he is signed for 3 more movies in
Yeah,
his contract with WB. So I think this is going to be a franchise, and I mean, it was left with a teaser of a fan favorite, right? That's got to be positive. You guys saw the teaser at the end
yeah,
when
Johnny
Cole Young,
Cage.
Johnny Cage, yeah, Johnny Cage. So, and fans are already saying they want Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
hearing the Miz from WWE. That's
Oh, Miz has been pitching that for 10 years. I don't blame him.
yeah.
He's my pick personally.
Listen,
Uh,
y'all don't know Miz like I know Miz. I knew Miz when he was on the Real World. I'll leave it at
So did
that.
I.
Oh,
So
oh,
did I.
so yeah,
you were born?
Yeah,
How old were you? Like
watching
5?
20-year-olds watching like real world stuff like that, man. Thought that
What you
I
what you
was
know
born.
about the Miz? What you know about the Miz? I knew the Miz when they were calling the Miz a racist, and when they were calling Miz a wannabe wrestler.
Yeah,
They ate
yeah.
him up on the first season, bro.
we're
They,
not that young, man. Come on,
well,
you were there too.
guys, when that came out was like literally almost 22 years ago. So you do the math.
Nah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was in 2000. That episode.
2000.
Yeah, 2000.
2000. I was like 12, like 12, 13.
See, there you
Yeah.
go. All right. Well, listen. I think first of all, great episode, guys. I had a blast with you guys. I know we went over, but we had a lot to cover today. We kind of knew that this was going to be one of those hour and 15, 20-minute shows, but we did cover a lot of stuff, and I was excited about the stuff that we were covering. For next week's episode, we're going to go back to the retro and finally finish out Indiana Jones and the entire series, which will end with The Last Crusade and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Are you up for that, Tank? Because I know you kind of left off with kind of feeling indifferent about good old Indiana Jones. So are you going to be able to, like, take 2 more, movies with Indiana Jones?
I don't think I was indifferent. I said I didn't like it. It was that wasn't really
Jesus.
I was very clear. I did not like it, Clark.
Well, let's listen. We got a lot of fan mail in our email to finish off Last Crusade because they really want to get your feedback, not just on Last Crusade, but on the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So maybe we can get it done this week, and we can have this put this one to bed next week on the House of Fandom. One other thing I want to talk about is we've got a new show hosted by yours truly, and it's called 90 Day Fandom. It goes through everything on 90 Day Fiancé, the reality show. It's about couples that go batshit crazy, looking for love in all the wrong places, especially overseas. And they find some crazy, wacky people on both ends, in the U.S. and the people that they get overseas. So I have a blast doing that show. That show drops every Monday, and it's pre-recorded. So if you want to have a blast with my 2 cents on it, look forward to that. The Townie Sports guys finally decided to show up, guys. Did you see that? They actually did an episode on Wednesday. Or is it Wednesday? Or no, Tuesday. They did an episode Tuesday. They finally decided to show up and do an episode, right? And then on top of that, they brought a guest too. So it was actually pretty good. It has some really good stuff in it, and they're really committed to coming back again and staying on track with the next episode coming up this Tuesday with Townie Sports again, covering the NFL draft, which I know everybody's been kind of like chomping at the bit, coming in on our show and out of our show talking about it. Did you find anything out about the Giants yet, Danny?
No, where's the House of Fandom people at, man?
Well,
You
I
guys
know
just let me know. Did you draft?
Alento did provide that Jacksonville got Trevor Lawrence, New York Jets got Zach Wilson, and San Francisco got Trey Lance. That was
the one with
the
Trey Lance.
second. Yep, and yeah. So just to let you guys know that. But getting back to the the upcoming shows. So look forward to the 90-day fandom with yours truly as host. Then County Sports with Sammy and Vic. And then another great episode from us here, the three amigos, Danny, Pam, Tank Built for Tough, and yours truly. I had a blast with you guys. Shout out to Steel Frame and his music to open up the show, aka Joel. Really cool, Joel. Really cool stuff. We're gonna close out this episode with another selection from his original music, and it's called Pure. Before we close out, Danny, would you like to part us with any words of wisdom or any cosmic thoughts?
Yes. I hate that you would say cosmic because that really puts a lot of pressure when you say it like that.
Thank you.
But I hate you. No, actually, I do just want to say to everybody, since our next episode next Thursday will already pass this date, I want to wish everybody may the 4th be with you for our Star Wars fans out there. And yes, we are going to be covering Indiana Jones, which I'm excited to finish with Tank. I'm actually really excited to hear, after having the first sit down with Tank about the first 2 movies, how these back end movies are going to sound to him. I'm not spoiling anything, Frank. I'm Frank. I always call you Frank now. Once an episode. That's a new thing.
He called you Frank.
But
this is the second time. He does not look like Frank Gallagher. Let me just say that.
No, but just last thing here, guys. Just to give you guys kind of an idea of the schedule going forward here at the House of Fandom. Nothing's confirmed yet, but as I kind of said, may the 4th be with you. We are going to start getting into fandom about Star Wars now,
Dude,
which now I'm really
so excited about that.
So yeah, stay tuned for future information on that there. But yeah, guys, always love doing with you guys. You guys are my boys. Had a great time with this one here. So yeah, not Michael Young. Hashtag not Michael Young. That's my hashtag today.
Real quick before I give Tank the last word, thank you so much for our 4th honorary guest, Alento, for providing the usual awesome commentary. And last but not least, our amazing moderator, Mora. Thank you so much for keeping the chat live and keeping it safe for all our listeners. And giving the last word, the man, the myth, you know him. He's a tank, but he's really not a true tank. He is the tank. Ladies and gentlemen, the final word, Tank, take us home.
I just want to first shout out my boy Joel. Check out his music, Still Frame. Like I said, he's been giving me his beats for years, and they're always fire. Just remember, like, share, subscribe to all you people to come on, join us on House of Fandom, and everybody check out Invincible. Season finale is actually comes up on tonight at midnight, so definitely check it out.
Thank you.